What's
Oh,
up?
sweet. What's
What
up, everybody?
what's up, everyone? So this is a special Snowboard Pro Camp live chat. We've got Justin Visey here, who's been an
Hey,
OG
everyone.
of the channel. So yeah, stoked to be on here with Justin. If you guys have any questions for myself or Justin, definitely hit us up. Today we were snowboarding in Park City, Utah, and it was like absolutely dumping. So if you guys have any questions about Park City, anything like that, snowboarding in general,
Yeah.
but before we get into some of your questions, I might ask Justin a few questions while I got him here.
Yeah.
And first, I just want to say, dude, thank you so much for all the support on the channel over the years, like all
Yeah.
your comments, tuning into all the live chats. That's been
Yeah.
huge. How did you get into snowboarding? Like, what was the first trip or like the thing that
Yeah.
kind of sparked it off for you?
Yeah. So for me, my mom was a ski instructor at Palisades growing
Oh,
up.
yeah.
And then growing up, she tried to get me on skis, and I didn't like it. And she
Yep.
looked at my dad and was like, "We got to get him on something." And she saw a little kid kind of on those small Burton boards, and she's like, "Let's try that." And she got me on the snowboard and
No
never
way.
looked back. And yeah, man, that's kind of how I ended up getting started. And we have a cabin up in the Palisades, and
Yeah.
so just going up there every season.
Awesome.
Yeah, growing up.
And you're from, are you originally from LA or San Francisco?
So that's interesting. I grew up in LA.
Okay.
I've lived in LA since I was like 6 years old or so.
Yeah.
Um, but we always went back to the Palisades. It was just
Awesome.
like kind of like home for us.
Yep.
So that's my home mountain, and so it was pretty cool growing up, kind of doing all that type of stuff. And then
Nice.
being in LA, kind of growing up, I did a lot of Mammoth trips, and then I ended up while I was in college being an instructor at Mountain High,
Oh
which
yeah.
is a resort near Los Angeles, and so. It was
Awesome.
a
Yeah.
lot of fun, man. It was really, really cool. I was part of the Ski and Snowboard Club in college as well, and
Awesome.
it's a fun vibe, man. It's really cool just being able to hang out with different people, different levels, and
Yeah.
everybody's just down to help one another.
Yeah. It's so awesome too that you're from California and like you get to snowboard so much because I feel like the most of like the rest of North America, they think California is like sunny beaches, but
Yeah,
you still have like Lake Tahoe, Palisades, Mammoth, and then even right beside LA, like you can see like snow-capped mountains from
yeah,
Los
yeah. I
Angeles.
mean, even somewhere like Big Bear. So like, I think a lot of
Yeah.
like Shaun White, I think is from that area, right? So,
Yeah.
and I think Chloe Kim is also she grew up riding Mountain High. So it's just like it's pretty cool to have that vibe there too. But
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, I think most people assume LA just has like beaches and stuff like that. But we
Yeah.
do have the mountains like an hour and a half away. So I think it's one of the few places where you can do that surf kind of snowboard kind of thing in
Oh
one
yeah.
day, which is pretty cool, I
That's
think. So
that's awesome. Have you ever surfed and snowboarded in the same day? Are you a surfer?
I'm not a surfer.
Okay.
No,
Oh man, you gotta try.
I tried once, man. It didn't go over too well, to be
Okay,
honest with
it's
you.
tough.
It's
Yeah.
it's different.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
different.
Awesome, man. So, okay, so you, yeah, Palisades, Mammoth. Of the California resorts, like which one is your favorite?
I'm biased. I mean, Palisades for me, just because of the size and the different types of terrain.
Yeah.
I think Mammoth is great if you want to do a lot of alpine riding,
Mm-hmm.
because I think Mammoth's alpine is absolutely amazing.
It is, yeah.
I would say the Palisades has that, but it also has some really nice gladed runs, which is really, really cool. They do have some really cool cliff drops and stuff
Oh
like
yeah,
that. Like the
yeah.
cliff drops are really, really cool. Mammoth has cliff drops, but it's either they're really small or they're super large, and like you have to want to go really big
For
in order
sure.
to hit it.
Yep. Yeah,
I feel like
Palisades.
Palisades
Yeah.
has that kind of in between.
It does, yeah.
It's not the extremes.
Yeah, you can just ride around Palisades, like spotting little like nice drops.
Yeah,
And,
like even somewhere like Broken Arrow, for example, because I know
Mhm.
that's a run you know very well.
Yeah.
Broken Arrow is really cool because it has the larger features, but it has a lot of medium little hits from a rock standpoint and a
Yeah.
cliff drop standpoint, and I think that's really, really cool. So,
It is. Yeah.
yeah, man. I mean,
That's awesome.
yeah, I would say Palisades for me is kind of where it's at.
Awesome. And you said your mom got you into snowboarding, your
Yeah.
parents. Like, what was I mean, I think you've told me this before, but like, what's your mom's background with skiing? I think you were saying she was a ski instructor.
She was a ski instructor at the Palisades
Oh,
before I
no
was even
way.
born. So yeah,
That's
so like
awesome.
this is when she was in college, and during the season, every other weekend she was up there kind of being a ski instructor.
Awesome.
And my grandpa was a big skier,
Wow, yeah.
so it just kind of, it was a family thing. It was a way that we bonded as a family, and so
Yeah.
um, yeah, it was really cool.
That's awesome. So it's like kind of like passed down too,
It's
right?
kind of passed down. It's kind
Yeah.
of a generational thing. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
My sister didn't get the gene.
Oh no? Okay.
She's like, I don't. That's not really my thing. She's like, it seems like a little risky for me. My mom tried to get her to do it. She really wasn't
Yeah.
down, and so she's like,
Yeah.
at least one of my kids is down for it. So,
Awesome.
but
Yeah.
it's all good. Yeah, no,
That's,
it's really cool to
yeah.
have that.
We were talking about this a bit today, but what do you think it is about snowboarding that is like, because there's so many different things that we can be doing, right? Like activities, hobbies, but snowboarding is something different, like that just like draws you out to the mountains, and then once you're there, it's special, right? Like, what do
Yeah.
you think that is? If is it from your child? Like, is it something that you felt the whole time since you were a kid, like being in the mountains? Like, what do you think that? What is that thing?
I think what draws me back to it is it's kind of your one with the mountain. I
Right.
think it's
Yeah.
kind of, there's something that's very zen about it.
Yeah.
And I think it just kind of always spoke to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was necessarily like, oh, I wanted to be doing something else. I think everybody's got their interests
Mm-hmm.
and their hobbies, and for me, it was just being able to go in and just find that zen with the mountain wherever I was at, and
Yeah.
to be able to come back to tell my mom, hey, I hit this run, or hey, I hit this little side hit on KT22, or whatever it might be, to be able to have
Mm-hmm.
that kind of conversation with my family, I think was really, really cool. And I think that's what drove me. But I think it's also my mentality is I'm very competitive.
Mm-hmm.
So like my mentality is like, I want to try to conquer the mountain.
Awesome.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
so like, and I feel like that's kind of how I always approach it. I think that's for me, like why, like I've always been kind of more of an aggressive rider. Like
Oh yeah.
so for me, it's just like, I think it's my mentality of trying to conquer the mountain.
That's interesting. Yeah. That
But
it. Yeah.
so
And that could be like an innate thing in all of us too. Like we want to like be in the outdoors and like not just be there, but conquer it. And like so, snowboarding is that let to do it.
yeah, and I think you're kind of self-reliant with snowboarding too.
For sure.
Like you got to make sure that you're engaging the proper edge, and
Mm-hmm.
you're reading the terrain ahead of you and all those types of things. And I think that's kind of what's really, really cool too. It's like it's not necessarily a team sport, maybe unless you're in the backcountry and you need you're peaking
Yeah.
your shovel and your pro. But
Yeah.
outside of that, I think you're kind of, it's you and the mountain.
Yeah. And you're kind of, and also like you like kind of internally trying to progress yourself too, right? So you're pushing yourself, kind of like telling yourself, oh, like, pushing yourself to get better, to like ride better.
Yeah,
So
man.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's see if anyone has any questions for myself or Justin. Check in with people. I
We got
see
a
there's
couple
a
of super chats.
we got a few super chats. Bad Riders has already dropped a super chat. Um, he says members chat topic. All right, so we're gonna do so. Just to let you guys know, we do a members chat every week, but this Friday is landed on a kind of like a special time. It's Justin's bachelor kind of night or like weekend. So we're gonna push the members chat till tomorrow. But yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that another day. But yeah, stoked to be on here with Justin. But if Justin's getting married in January, so yeah, congrats, Justin. And
Yeah,
yeah,
thanks.
for everyone on the channel that's seen Justin over all these years, he's getting hitched. So that's pretty
Yeah.
awesome. We got Nevea on here. It says hello. What's up, Nevea?
Howdy.
Expel says, dude, what's the trick for a beginner to learn edge to edge changes?
Ooh.
You were kind of talking about that a little bit today.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is staying stacked every board. I think that's kind of the biggest thing. Also, I think using your ankles and maintaining a bent knee position, maintaining an athletic stance. I call it the basketball stance because that's kind of how I was taught. It
Yeah.
was just kind of like being in a defensive basketball stance. And I think just using your ankles and I think slowing the edge change down. a lot of people, they try to go from one edge to another without letting their board go flat, and typically that's when you catch.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a really big thing, is just maintaining proper edge control and slowing it down between the turns. So kind of pound your board down and then go onto the new edge and let it go flat for a second or two. And I think that's a really, really good thing to learn, particularly when you're talking about technique.
For sure. Yeah, that's exactly it. Like let it happen gradually. Let your board actually go down the hill and flat first. So it's not such an abrupt edge change when you're a beginner, because I feel like that's like tempting to do, right? You want
Yeah.
to go like heels to toes like really fast. Because I mean it's scary to like make that edge change.
Yeah.
But if you take your time, let it happen gradually so that you're sliding on your heels, your board slowly starts to go straight down the hill and flat, and then you get onto that new edge. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's a trick to it. Bad Rider says, "Yo, it's the real Justin Visey."
What's up, Adam?
Yo, we got Fatih in the chat. We got Carrie Pierce.
Cool.
Some more OGs there.
Yeah. Got a bunch of them.
X Spell says, "I grew up going to Mountain High." Awesome.
Nice.
Is that where you taught? You taught at
Yeah.
Mountain High? Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Maybe you guys ran into each
Yeah,
other over the years.
maybe I taught him.
Nevea says, "Happy second day of the month." Nevea, here in North America, it's still the first. Is it the first still?
Yeah, it's the first.
Yeah. Okay, it's the second in New Zealand. Crazy. Nevea, what do y'all have planned for Christmas? I mean, snowboarding, hopefully. Yeah.
Dude, I'm in the middle of a move, so
Yeah.
in wedding planning, so I think that's kind of my.
Justin's gonna be busy.
Yeah, I'm gonna be busy.
What are the best park boots under $300? I mean, I ride the Vans High Standard Pros. I think they're great park boots. I'm pretty sure they're under 300.
Yeah.
You can also go for the Vans High Standard OGs. They're pretty
I mean,
nice too.
when I rode park, I rode I think they were the Burton. Was it the Ruler?
Oh yeah, the rulers. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it was the Ruler, and I think that came out at like 250 or something like that. And it was a pretty decent boot. It was pretty mid flex, and it did pretty good in the park when you're doing jibs and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
I,
softer.
I think it depends on the type of riding that you want to do in the park too, right?
for sure.
If you're more jump laney, you might want a little bit of a stiffer boot. But if you're more jib focused, then you might want something a little bit softer.
Yeah, it depends on how hard you're riding in the park for like small tricks, jibs, maybe some small jumps.
Yeah.
Butters, it can be nice to have like a softer boot, but yeah, if you're like going big and you might
Yeah.
want some stability. Gorb saying today's video was dope. Thanks, Gorb. Oh, Gorb is the banana man. He keeps asking me about bananas.
You like your
I
bananas.
mean,
You do so many banana shakes and stuff.
I used to do like crazy banana shakes with like 7, 8 bananas at once. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, yeah. Bad Rider says, yo, Justin, member chat topic. After an epic day on the mountain, what's the best thing to fill your stomach with? Shout out DWCP homies. Yeah. Do you have like a post like snowboard place to eat or like thing you would make if you're at home?
You know, I think for me personally, I'm a big pasta guy. So I do
yeah.
like pasta, and I do like carbs. For me, I think coming off the mountain, like I think carbs for me is equal to energy. So it's just
For
like
sure. Yeah.
I do like pasta. So I'm a big pasta guy.
Awesome.
Like in whatever form. So if it's like a ramen noodle or a pho or something like that, like
Yeah.
I think, that's great. But I think even like pasta marinara sauce, that kind of stuff is pretty
Oh man,
good.
that sounds good. Mine's similar, like still Italian, but I would just go for pizza. Like if
That's a
I-
good one too.
Like after snowboarding, if I could drive straight to, so my favorite place here is called Mod Pizza, and it's kind of like Subway, like sandwiches, but like a pizza version. You go and just like tell them how you want,
Yeah, that's pretty
and
cool.
it's so convenient. Israel, I'm going snowboarding the first time to Loveland Basin Valley in January. Any tips?
Cool.
First time, I mean, I would just, like, as you're learning, make sure that you're having a good time, learn at your own pace, and don't try to push yourself too hard. Like, it's going to take you a few days to learn to snowboard, so just take your time.
Yeah, and I think definitely taking a lesson,
Yeah.
particularly if you're a first timer, I think that's really, really helpful just to kind of get your technique down. I think that could be really, really helpful. And I would also say make sure that you're properly dressed, because I can see a lot of people, like I've seen that ruin days where people aren't just
sure.
properly dressed.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
today, like we both were wearing mid layers, and I've saw some people that weren't wearing mid layers, and some people were like freezing. So I think that's really, really important, is to be dressed properly.
Yeah, I think on your first day, it could be a good idea to actually bring like a bag that you can put somewhere like in the chalet, and either like wear an extra layer that you can take off and put in a bag, or have like an extra layer that you can put on.
Yeah.
Because I think for beginners especially, you can get like really overheated because you're like doing so much work as a new snowboarder. But the opposite can happen too, where you're like just getting a bit like too cold. So yeah,
Yeah.
maybe a change of mitts, like, because yeah, your mitts can kind of get wet, like always having your hands in the snow.
And this for me is the biggest thing, is crash pants.
Oh,
Honestly,
yeah.
because you're more likely to bust your tailbone, and I would say your tailbone's probably the most common. Um, I would say crash pants is a really big deal, because otherwise you're going to be in pain, and nobody wants to sit on a donut. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Pants, impact shorts.
yeah,
They're like $100 and they can
yeah.
save your
And
tailbone.
honestly, to be honest, I still wear them. Like, I'd rather be safe than sorry personally, but I just think that it's a good thing to have.
For sure. Yeah, and maybe even wrist guards too. Wrist guards
Yeah,
are
wrist guards are good.
good for beginners. Uh, okay, the same question. Nevea says, my love for snowboarding came after watching Kevin for years. Oh, awesome. Finally moving down to a place where the mountains were, and skateboarding. Oh,
Cool.
nice. Yeah, skateboarding is the awesome, like perfect off-season thing to do.
Definitely.
Scott, when are you going back to Whistler? No plans at the moment, but I'm going to be in Canada at the end of January, going to Banff, Banff Lake Louise. So maybe like after that, do like a little road trip around, hit up Whistler. So yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
Jose says, what's up, Justin?
What's up, Jose?
Drop some burritos in the chat for Justin.
Nice.
Luke, hi, question. What size snowboard would you recommend to someone that's 5'4"?
Oh man.
Yeah, maybe a smaller one, but I think we need to know your weight as well.
Yeah, I typically go towards like the size guide. Usually they have a size guide on the actual website. If you're interested in a certain board, just look at that size guide. Typically it's by weight. I really don't, and we're both tall, so it's just like I don't think, like maybe you have, like I never really looked at height. I don't think I've never seen a board like have that a height thing.
Yeah, I think like back like when snowboarding was starting out, people may have done it by height like 20 plus years ago, but I think now it's like all the board companies recommend like by weight.
Yeah.
So maybe let us know your weight and we can make a guess. But if you also look online, you can, if you're looking to like buy a snowboard, there'll be a sizing chart there too.
Yeah.
All right. Nevea wants to know, how have we both been? Yeah, how was today, man?
It's good, man.
Awesome.
We had a lot of fun out there.
Yeah.
It started dumping like mid run.
It did,
which was pretty fun. But yeah, we had a good time. It was a good pow day. There's a little bit of dust on crust, to be honest. Like it wasn't like full blown pow.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
Yeah, today, I mean, it's still early season here in Utah, so there's not like a ton open. But the run we were doing that was open, the snow was like really good quality.
It was good.
And then it started just like puking snow. So hopefully tomorrow or Sunday, like it fills in and get to explore more of the mountain. Matthew, what's the best directional all mountain board?
Ooh, this is a good one. That's a good one.
What do you think? Do you have a?
Do you know what? I think, to be honest with you, I think the board that I gave you is a good one.
Yeah.
I think that would be a pretty good
Yeah,
one.
the Arbor Annex.
I think.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I was riding it today. It was really fun to carve. Those uplifted fenders it has make it really like smooth for transitions.
Yeah, and I think the board that I was riding was the K2 Excavator. And I think that's another really, really good one.
Awesome, yeah.
But I think like it depends on, how much direction you want to, because if you like to ride switch, those two boards are probably not going to be the best choice, but just because they have a lot of taper.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I would probably say something like the T-Race Pro could be a good option, because that's, you know, I
Yeah.
think it's a directional twin.
Yeah, I've been riding the Capita Aeronaut quite a bit as well, and that's like a fun all mountain board. It's not like it's directional, but not super directional, so it allows you to do some freestyle stuff. A lot of people love the Capita DOA, which is, I'd say, like a all mountain board that is a little bit more freestyle focused, like maybe not so much for POW, but yeah,
Yeah.
free
I
riding.
think it's a true twin, isn't it?
It's a true twin, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The Mercury, I know Bad
Yeah.
Riders loves the
And
Mercury.
I think the Navigator is another one.
Oh, the Navigator, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Bad Riders wants to know, Kev, hit you up about heliboarding in Chile, Argentina. Oh wow, I haven't checked that out yet, but have you been looking into it? That's yeah, that's gonna be a fun trip.
That would be a fun trip.
Justy Wong says, hi from Vancouver, still waiting for the local mountains to open. Yeah, I hope they open up soon for you guys.
I feel like that area of the continent got blasted. So I'm kind of
Yeah.
shocked that they're taking their time.
Yeah, I think like because Vancouver is like very close to sea level, it might like stay a bit warmer there
Yeah.
compared to like Whistler is, you know, like 3,000 to 8,000 kind of feet high.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll get there. That's right. Yeah, I eat all those bananas for the potassium. Yeah, no cramps.
Yeah. Yeah.
Adam eats steak after after a day of snowboarding.
Dude, if I ate a steak right after snowboarding, like I feel like I'd probably pass out. I'd need a few hours and then I could do it, but like
I was gonna say, yeah,
you know,
like post snowboard meal, like straight
like
from the
straight
mountain.
from it, yeah.
Yeah, you'd be like going to bed at like
I'd be-
4:30.
Exactly. I'd be
Yeah.
toast.
Well, that's a good one. Yeah, it's so funny too. Like, you know, like Thanksgiving, Christmas, like you eat like these like massive meals, and then everyone just like goes and like, I don't know, puts on like football or whatever and like falls asleep.
Yeah.
It's such a funny thing. Yeah. All right. Question for both of you from Nevea. What is your favorite trick to do on a snowboard, and what trick do you want to improve at? I mean, for me, it's like at the moment jumps are fun, boxes, rails are fun. I think like for some reason, I don't know why, but doing like a front board slide down a tube or rail, like that's one of my favorite tricks. I think because for me, it's like, it's a difficult trick. So when I do it and I do it cleanly, then it kind of makes me happy, like I've accomplished something.
Yeah, I think for me personally, I don't ride park anymore. I'm more of a free rider now. When I was in my 20s, I rode a lot more park, and my favorite trick was the Cab 5.
Oh, nice.
So
Awesome.
I think that was a lot of fun. I would also say backside board. I think that was pretty fun too.
Nice, yeah.
Like I definitely I prefer going backside if I'm gonna hit a rail,
Nice.
then rather than frontside. For me, it was just more comfortable.
Awesome. All right. Fatih says, thanks you, Kevin, for the recommendations. I had a couple of runs with my Jones Stratos, Clue bindings, and Vans boots. I also sent you a picture via WhatsApp. Oh, check that out. The setup looks fantastic. Awesome,
Sweet.
man. Yeah, Fatih, what do you think of the Clue bindings so far? Oh, he says the experience feels spectacular right after. Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Brandon says, hey, Kevin, enjoy the weekend. My first time riding since March.
Sweet.
Awesome, Brandon. Yeah, I hope you have some fun. Bad Riders, how's the weather in Utah? It's pouring rain here in Melbourne.
I mean, it's dumping snow, so
Yeah, yeah.
we'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's a slow start, but this weekend is like all the snow seems to be coming.
Yeah.
It must have snowed at least like, I keep thinking in centimeters.
Well, you should. He's Australian.
Yeah, 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 that's true. What do you think? How many inches did it snow like up there today?
It was at least, I would say, 4 to 7 inches.
Okay, awesome.
So like 6 inches is about 15 centimeters.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
So, about 15 centimeters.
Yeah, and I think more's on the way. So
Yeah.
we need
Tomorrow's probably going to be a pretty gnarly day.
Yeah, Saturday tomorrow. So
What's cool about this place is there's two sides to the resort too, and I think that there's more terrain on the opposite side of the resort. So I think we might be able to hit some of that.
check out canyons.
Yeah, check out canyons.
Bad Riders wants you to try to get me to ride the Mercury.
I mean, if you want to ride it, dude, you can do it.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for Bad Riders keeping the chat nice and clean.
Oh, sweet.
Hardware Addiction wants to know where else Stacker is. Yeah, where is Stackers?
I don't know.
He's repping Idaho and rocking Bogus Basin. Have you ever been out to Idaho?
I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't.
There's like some crazy. I've heard there's like some really nice resorts like
Oh, really?
up and down Idaho. Yeah.
That's what I heard too.
Yeah. To check that out sometime.
Yeah, there's that. Was it Sun Valley?
Sun Valley. Yeah. That's I think the most like the mecca of Idaho snowboarding and skiing.
Yeah.
Bad Riders, hey Kev, is Outdoor Master having a comp at Bogus? I think they are. Yeah, I haven't heard what the details are, but they've got. I know they're planning to do some kind of contest, competition, something at Bogus this season. So that's cool, and then also something in the Northeast as well. Kyle says, after boarding last year in Tahoe and comparing it to the snow we are getting now makes me so sad. Oh no. Yeah. But I've realized that was over 175% of Tahoe's normal snow total.
Yeah, Tahoe got blasted last year.
Yeah.
You know, and Mammoth broke its record too.
Yeah.
So California just got nailed last year. It was a really, really good season.
Yeah.
I
got so lucky.
I know, dude. You really did.
Yeah. But to be honest, so this time last year in California, I think the start was a little bit better, but it was, the winter really didn't kick off until like around Christmas is like when all the storms like started coming like crazy. So like November was like good, but it wasn't like, the majority of the snow I think came December, January, February. So we still got time. It could still.
Yeah, and we had some powdies in April too, which was kind of crazy. Like usually that doesn't happen.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, so you got to take the wins where you can get them.
Absolutely. So, but so there's still hope. Like I think I went to Mount Rose in like mid-December, and it wasn't like that filled in. It was still fairly bare. So yeah, there's still time. Awesome. Thanks, Nevea. Fatih says the clue bindings are on
43
fire.
people watching and 15 likes.
Awesome. Let's get that ratio up a little bit. Let's see if we can get to 40 likes. Matthew says, are clue step-ons better than Burton step-on bindings in your opinion? So full disclosure, I am sponsored by Clue, but a couple things that I do like about the Clues is that the release is at the top of the high back. So that is like super, super convenient to have that release up top. And you get straps. And the funny thing with the Clues too is the tighter the straps are, the better the like step in, step out function works. So the fact that you have tight straps and the release point is at the top of the high back, I love those two things about the Clues alone.
Yeah, and then for me, I have ridden the step-ons. I wasn't a big fan of them.
Okay.
Because they had that clicking noise.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I felt like my boot wasn't hugging the high back properly, and I also felt like I had a bunch of dead spots too.
Right.
I don't know if you felt like that, but like there were a couple of dead spots underfoot, like where it connects to the bottom of your boot.
Right.
And it felt very dead to me, and I just didn't like it. I was just like, I feel like they could have done better.
Yeah, I think since then they have fixed that popping sound.
Yeah.
The clicking. I think they've fixed the clicking. But yeah, everyone likes their own thing, but there's definitely, there's like pros and cons to everything, I guess. But yeah, I remember too that first generation with all like the pop, pop, pop,
Yeah,
pop, pop, pop.
yeah.
It was a little bit weird.
It sounded like you were walking on bubble paper.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we're gonna do a few more questions.
Yeah.
Scott says, "Hey Kevin, what board would you recommend as a secondary to take to Canada? Currently riding a 23 Burton Name Dropper."
So the name dropper is a park board. So I would say something more all mountain, kind of free ridey. I guess if you're sticking to the Burton, maybe something like the Flight Attendant could be a good choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
But yeah, I would go for like an all mountain free ride, or just like go all the way POW board too. Like if I was you, Scott, I would get the K2 excavator.
yeah, that's a good option for sure. You know, or if you want something less tapered, you know, I would say something like, I personally don't own it, but I've ridden the E-Jackknife, like Eric Jackson's pro model, and that was pretty fun too.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, that's a good recommendation. Yeah.
It also has magnet traction, which I think, you know, depending on where you're riding, could be a benefit.
Definitely.
Too.
But yeah, just go, I would say, yeah, if you have like kind of like a park leaning board now, go the opposite and get something that will be good for totally different riding conditions.
Yeah.
All right, let's do one more question. We're just going to cut this. We're going to do a short special live chat today, but I'll make it up to you guys again, maybe this weekend. Let's see. Somebody's talking about bananas in the chat.
Dude, they're trying to get you to eat all the bananas.
Yeah. I can't eat 24. Somebody's saying 24.
That's a lot of bananas.
That's too many. Brian's saying, yeah, the clicking noise, they fixed that. I haven't ridden the TRS. Nevea says, where do you want to snowboard the most? You can say somewhere you haven't been before.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
For me personally, I am dying to go to Niseko.
Oh, yeah.
I've never been to Japan in general. And so I think being able to go to Niseko and hit Risutsu, because I love riding trees. And I think your video with the trees at Risutsu looked so sick. So it's just like, I'm so down to like get out there and stuff like that. Yeah, and just check it out. Check out the culture and stuff like that.
That's a good choice. Yeah.
So for me, I'd probably say Japan.
Awesome. I'm going to say, I mean, I love Japan. Oh man, where do I want to go more? I feel like I need to ride in Europe some more. Like, cause Europe is so big and there's so many resorts that, I feel like, I just haven't spent enough time. I've been there quite a few times in the spring and summer, but some more winter trips over to Europe would be nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, Japan and Europe, those are two good spots.
Yeah, man.
Awesome. Justin, thanks for being in the chat, dude. This is awesome.
It was fun.
Yeah, it's so cool to like all these years doing the live chat, seeing your name come up right here.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty surreal, I guess.
It's awesome.
But you know, thanks for having me on. I hope everybody got some value out of it, and see everybody in the next one soon, I guess.
Definitely. Right? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you guys all for being on here, for hanging out for the live chat.
Be sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, definitely. If you guys get the chance, subscribe, hit the bell to get notified every time I go live or upload a video. And I'll talk to you guys on here again next Friday. And for all the members, I'll do a members chat soon. Awesome. Sweet. Thanks, guys.
See you guys.